Well, this is what we're going to be making today. This is the savoury version of my beef mince and cheese pie. This one will include onions and mushrooms. So let's get cooking. Right, this is my savoury edition of my beef mince and cheese pie. So I've had these mushrooms sitting on my windowsill for about 30 minutes in the sun, and that will enrich the vitamin D in the mushrooms. I'm going to chop these up very, very finely. Same with the mushroom. We've got a little bit of soy sauce in there to add to the flavour of the pie itself, only about a teaspoon, and some salt reduced beef stock that we're going to use to make our gravy, all encrusted in this beautiful flaky puff pastry with inside on top of the meat a beautiful layer of cheese. Let's get cooking. Okay, now firstly we're going to fry our beef mince. So just 1 tablespoon of canola oil, just to stop it from sticking really to the pan, and then I've got a very lean ground beef here, or minced beef, that I'm going to use. And we're just going to get this browned. Now it's a very important stage because this will deliver a lot of the flavour to this dish. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's starting out. I've just got it starting to sizzle now. I'll come back when it's brown so you can get some idea of what you should be looking for in a fully browned mince. Okay, now that's the sort of colour we're after, nicely browned. I'm going to take this out of the pan, put it in a bowl, and then we're going to start with our onions and mushrooms. Right, and with a little bit more oil, and then in with our onions. And we'll wait till these get a bit soft before we add our mushrooms in. Right, the onions are softened and beginning to catch now, so we'll put our mushrooms in. Very important that you don't put the mushrooms in before the onions have caramelised, because mushrooms will immediately start to ooze water, and that's not going to help your mushrooms fry, it'll boil them. Right, let's get these cooked and then we'll add our stock. As you can see, these are starting to catch now, so this is the time you need to put your stock in. Straight away, that's lifted off the bottom of the pan. Right, let's add our soy sauce. And we're just going in with 1 teaspoon. Then back in with our cooked ground beef, and we're going to leave this cooking for around about 15 minutes and see if we need to thicken it. You might need to turn your pan down too. Right, this is the stage where you want to taste this. Needs a little bit of pepper, salt is fine. Now the only other thing that we'll probably need to do with this is to thicken it. So I'm just going to dissolve a tablespoon of cornflour in a tablespoon of water, and I'm going to add that to this. Alright, here we go. That should thicken it up quite nicely. I'll take that off the heat now, and I'll let it cool for about half an hour. Right, our filling is all cooled down now, so it's time to fill our pies. So for those of you who've seen some of my pies before, you're probably well familiar with this process. So what I do is I cut about 1 centimetre wider than the circumference of the pie dish. And then I'm going to put a little bit of flour on here just to stop it from sticking to the bottom of the pie dish. Just the merest of like a powder coating. Rightio. Pop that in there. And what you want to do is just feed it into the pie dish. And then press. Just press. And there you have it. I'll do the rest and then I'll come back. Right, now we're going to fill our pies. So just spoon the mince in. Ooh, it's going to be delicious. We get our egg wash. Just around the outside, so we get a good seal. Now, some grated cheese. Make sure you keep the grated cheese inside that pie perimeter. Just like that. And then we'll pop our lid on. And we'll get our fork and we'll crimp the edges like this. And some holes. There you go. I'll do the rest and then into the oven they go. The next time you'll see me is when I'm getting them out of the oven and we're going to have a tasting together. And before you pop them in the oven, remember to brush them with your egg wash. Right, I'm going to pop them in the oven now for around about 30 minutes. Well, here's our pies fresh out of the oven. I'm going to let them cool if I can be patient enough, and then we'll have a taste. Right, let's have a taste of this. Oh, beautiful. Nice cheese on the top there. Beautiful filling. That is absolutely delicious. Well, I do hope you make this, because you're going to enjoy it a hell of a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next recipe.